You've picked the wrong group of people to mess with.
I got that phone call the other day, and it seriously concerned me because I'm thinking to myself, like, who did I cover recently? I talked about Scientology, right? So Scientology commonly really comes after people hard. They even framed somebody and almost got him put in jail for 15 years. Seriously. Lifted their fingerprint and everything. It's crazy. That is a crazy thing to say on a voicemail to somebody, right? Well, that's not the only message they left. They called in like 15 times, so I decided to compile it all into a list. Weirdly, they told me their YouTube name at the beginning of every single call, their YouTube channel. I searched for it, and there's seemingly no YouTube channel there. And if there is, don't bother them. I would rather not bother them. I'm only putting it in for the sake of completion. Again, as far as I can tell, it's fake. I don't even know why they said it like every single time. But check out the next message they left.
YouTube channel, John Wilson Gaming, 2141. You are a no-good apostate without hope, Owen.
Apostate. Now, at this point, I'm thinking to myself, there is one group out there that I cover that uses the word apostate heavily. The group I cover that refers to people as apostates the most is Jehovah's Witnesses. But as a Jehovah's Witness, he shouldn't be calling in, and he shouldn't even be watching me. He shouldn't even be, like, listening to what I say. That's, like, super against the rules. But Scientology calls people suppressive persons, or SPs. Again, against the rules, unless I'm being fair-gamed. Teal Swan and some other smaller cults call their detractors haters. But Jehovah's Witnesses are the only ones that refer to people as apostates consistently that I could think of. So I'm starting to lean toward Jehovah's Witness, right?
Owen, I am one of Joe's witnesses.
And there it is. He is. And he's even saying, I am one of Jehovah's Witnesses. A distinction that only Jehovah's Witnesses would make between one of Jehovah's Witnesses and a Jehovah's Witness. Because you are not a Jehovah's Witness, you are one of his witnesses. Him as a God or an entity or whatever. You're witnessing for him. You're one of Jehovah's Witnesses. That's how they want their people to frame it. So this dude isn't just kind of in the religion a little bit. He's very in the religion to know that terminology, that phrasing. This dude is leaving threatening messages. Oh, I haven't even gotten a threatening one yet. Just wait until you hear it. He's leaving threatening messages to an apostate, an ex-Jehovah's Witness. Hey, let me give you a little tip here. You know what? I'll give you the tip afterward. Let's just keep listening. So he's an he's a current Jehovah's Witness, apparently. Okay, go on. Quick interjection. I won't take long. I just wanted to tell you guys, YouTube's algorithm operates off of a few factors. Watch time, whether or not you subscribe, and whether or not you like something. So if you really want to help my channel, I would appreciate it if you guys watch the video to the end. If you don't watch it to the end, just watch a little bit longer than you would have otherwise. I would appreciate that very much. All right, let's get back to the video.
Owen, I am one of Joe's witnesses. Well, I'm studying to be one of Joe's witnesses. And you picked the wrong group of people to mess with.
I picked the wrong group of people to mess with. Well, I could say the same about Jehovah's Witnesses. They picked the wrong person to mess with. And that's been borne out in the facts, ultimately, hasn't it? I have 100 million views between all of my channels, almost. I'm just about to pass that point. 100 million views. Put it that way. So we'll say tens of millions of unique viewers. I've reached tens of millions. One person watches an average of 2.5 of my videos. 2.5 of my videos. If I have 100 million views, I'm looking at somewhere in the range of 40 million viewers, right? Unique views over the years. Sounds like they picked the wrong person to mess with to me. But listen to this. Listen to what happens right here. Check this out. Those are Kingdom Melodies. That was Jehovah's Witness music playing in the background. I could tell. I mean, it's just like a couple notes, but he's at the Kingdom Hall when he's sending this message to me. It's just a hang-up call, which is, threatening in its own right. God, dude. I'm not worried at all, honestly. This is, for the record, this is exactly why I live in a building that has a doorman who won't let you in unless he knows exactly who you're here to see and what you're doing there, and has you leave your ID at the door. And if you don't have an ID, you can't come in. That's why I live in a place like that, because of people like this. Now, Jehovah's Witnesses, I'm not afraid of Jehovah's Witnesses, really, retaliating against me at all. I'm not afraid of anybody retaliating. I think they might, but I live in a very safe community, intentionally, because of people like this. Because I actually got threats to have my house burned down and stuff a couple years ago by some Trump nutcases. And I felt it was important to live in a gated community after that point. That's why I live here, because of people like him. Now listen to this one.
You better keep an eye on your sweet, sweet daughter, Kylie. You picked the wrong organization to mess with.
Get help, bro. Seriously. That is absolutely whacked out, about as whacked out as it gets. Now let me tell you this. Again, I don't fear you or Jehovah's Witnesses or, you know what, Scientology or any of the others. I don't fear any organization that I come after. I don't live in fear at all. I have had pictures of my front door in New York City sent to me before by extremists that hated me, that threatened to burn my house down, to kidnap my kid, to do all kinds of horrific stuff to me. I've had pictures of my front door in New York City sent to me from West Virginia. FBI case and everything was opened on it. I don't live in fear. I couldn't do the job that I do and fear people like this. Now, saying something like that is just, God, bro, get help. That is bizarre. That is a bizarre thing for you to say. And also, you shouldn't. Here's a little tip. I told you I'd give you the tip. Here's the tip, okay? If your elders or the person you're studying with or anybody in the congregation knew that you were watching my videos or interacting with me in any way, shape, or form, you would be kicked out permanently. Jehovah's Witnesses are pacifists. They don't believe in violence under any circumstances. So if you have a problem with that, I'd suggest getting out now. It seems you do have a problem with it. You don't seem like the pacifist type, although Jehovah's Witnesses do have a tendency to program new personalities into people, so maybe by the end of it you will be. Get help, bro. I'm just out here talking about organizations and religions and belief systems and all that stuff. That's it. You have got to get yourself some help for real, because calling somebody and leaving messages like that makes you sound like a pedophile, first of all. And second, just makes you sound like a nutcase at best. At absolute best. I actually got 15, 16, 17 messages from the dude. I don't know, but a lot of them were just hang-up calls, just breathing, hearing the Kingdom melodies in the background, that kind of thing. That is some wild shit, right? If you think that's wild, this isn't even the worst that I've had. Jehovah's Witnesses, I don't, like I said, I don't fear them at all, even a little bit. Trump supporters, they get psychotic. Scientologists, they get psychotic. That's why I live in a gated community. That's why I live behind a doorman who checks your ID at the door. So, anyways, get help. That's the point here. Get help, okay? Jesus, dude. I'd call the FBI, James Rhodes. Yeah, well, the FBI will only do things if they have very specific threats at specific people, and that person can be identified specifically. The FBI won't act otherwise. I know this because I've worked with them. So, not much you can do. about this kind of nutcase, except point it out when you see it. Again, I put his YouTube channel, he called and left his YouTube channel name. I searched it and I didn't even find anything. So I don't know what he was doing or what he was thinking or whatever, just bizarre. Anyways, okay. There was another, God, what a creepy thing to say, right? I swear to God, dude, I thought he was like hitting on my kid or something.
Your sweet, sweet daughter, Kylie.
Okay, you need to not breathe into the phone like that when you talk about someone else's kid, because that is about as creepy as it gets, man. I hope that you are not on a registry somewhere already. Well, I hope you are. I hope you're on a registry somewhere, truthfully, and they're keeping an eye on you because you clearly don't fit into society correctly and need it.
Hey, Owen. My name is Jeremy West. I live in Long Beach, California. Was raised Jehovah's Witness, was 100% brainwashed, and it took me until my late 30s to break free from all of it. And now I'm agnostic atheist. I got past my angry atheist stage. But I just wanted to give you props. My call is just to tell you how fucking awesome you are and how much I love what you do. And that's pretty much it. Rock on. Keep doing what you're doing. You make a difference in this world. And
I appreciate that. I actually spliced two together because he called in twice because he forgot to put something in, so you'll hear more in a second. But yeah, I appreciate it. I'm glad that I could help in some small way. You know, that's why I do it.
World, and I appreciate you. I left something out. I've kind of gone through like atheist experience and all these atheist YouTube podcast things, and I'm kind of over it. It just becomes a broken record, and I'm kind of feeling the same way about a lot of the stuff at this point with the Jehovah's Witness, exposing videos and all this. But I really, really love what you do on your Fireside chat channel, and that's my favorite, and I want you to continue it. I love your tone of voice, your energy, your vibe, but just giving you that feedback. Anyway, hope you're having a great day, night, or whatever it is. And I'll maybe call in later with something that you can that's substantial to what you do. Who knows? All right. Bye.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I know a lot of people feel like talking about Jehovah's Witnesses or talking about Scientology or talking about whatever group they came out of, Mormonism or whatever. I haven't covered Mormonism enough lately. Talking about those groups eventually does feel like a broken record. And at some point, you come to a point where you don't need it anymore. I came to that point too, actually, where I didn't need to listen to other atheist or ex-Jehovah's Witness YouTubers. That point probably came when I started talking about it myself, of course. But right now, at this moment, some dude just tucked his kid into her bed and read her a story. Some Jehovah's Witness guy goes to his bedroom, brushes his teeth, and lays down with his wife and says goodnight to her. A Jehovah's Witness family. And as he lays his head on the pillow and looks up at the ceiling, he realized, I don't believe any of this anymore. That's happening right now to somebody. Someone is experiencing that. That is something that countless people have experienced before. And I know that sometimes it feels like it's a broken record to you. And when it comes to that point, that's okay. That's good. It means that you've processed all of it. You know, you've kind of processed all of the garbage that you went through when you were younger, all of the nonsense that you had to deal with growing up. You've dealt with it largely. But that guy hasn't. And neither has his wife, and neither has his kid. They may never. He's certainly going to have to find a way to process it, though. So I'm going to continue making stuff about Jehovah's Witnesses. Because as it seems to have helped you, it'll help him too. And who knows, maybe it'll help his wife and his kid down the line. That is why I continue talking about Jehovah's Witnesses. or Scientology or Mormonism or Seventh-day Adventists or any cult of any kind out there. If I can reach one person and make them feel less alone, I've done my job. When I was a Jehovah's Witness, as I'm sure you experienced, we were largely ostracized from society, and we weren't supposed to be friends with people that were on the outside of the religion. We were supposed to be completely separate from the world, right? Only friends with people inside the religion. And there weren't really people in my congregation that were my age, and the ones that were my age didn't like me, so I just didn't hang out with them. And that led to me being completely and totally alone in the truest sense. Solitary confinement, effectively, for 4 years. My parents were the only two people that I talked to for years, and they both had bipolar disorder, and it led to really odd behavior patterns in me. You know, I'd watch live news coverage to be connected to something that was happening in the world, that was happening right then and there. I knew it was happening because I was watching it happen. That's the disconnection you feel when you leave a group and you have nobody and you have nothing, as I'm sure you probably know. If I can make people feel a little bit more seen, if I can make them feel just that much more connected to somebody who understands, then I've done my job. I don't believe that I'm pulling that many people out. Maybe. But you know what I do think I'm doing? I think I'm connecting people. I don't know if... I think by the time people come to my channel, they're already prepared to give it up. I think that you did all the hard work already by being willing to hear it. And all I'm doing is consolidating everything that you've already realized and condensing it and making you realize that I realized it too. That you aren't alone here. So I'm glad that you appreciate my channel. I'm glad you like my stuff, and I'm glad that you got some good out of it. And I'm glad that you recognize that you are not alone in it and that you've moved past it, that you don't need it anymore. I'm glad for that fact. That is my ultimate goal. It's like a psychologist. Their ultimate goal is to put themselves out of work, right? But I will always be here. Always. I will always be here for that guy that just laid his kid down to bed and laid down with his wife after brushing his teeth and stared up at the ceiling for hours, not knowing what to do next. I will always be here for him, for the next one in line.